What's up guys, today is Wednesday, which means hashtag Book Wednesday, day week where I talk to you guys about books. Today I am talking about Harry Potter, but mainly talking about the Hogwarts houses and their traits. Of course, for most of us, we associate ourselves with one of the four houses within the fandom, and in some cases we associate ourselves with a second house. So we kind of combine them to be either a Gryffindor, a Gryffindor, or whatever the case may be. Let's run through the houses and their actual traits. We have Gryffindor, one of the most popular houses in Hogwarts. Now, the Gryffindor traits are as follows: bravery, daring, nerve, and chivalry. We have Slytherin, another one of the popular houses within the Potter fandom. Their traits are mainly cunning, ambition, and resourcefulness. Oddly enough, they don't really sound like a dark wizard, but yeah, Slytherin usually pops out the dark wizards. Ravenclaw, I'm not too sure how popular Ravenclaw is, though I do know a good number of Ravenclaws. But when it comes to their traits, Ravenclaw values intelligence, knowledge, and wit. Last but not least, we have Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff in the last number of years has been gaining popularity within the Harry Potter fandom, and rightly so. So the main traits of Hufflepuff are patience, loyalty, dedication, hard work, and fair play. Not bad traits at all to have, I have to admit. If you are a Hufflepuff, hold your head held high. Now we've got the whole what the houses are and their traits out of the way. What house do I associate myself with, or what houses do I associate myself with? So naturally, from a very young age, mainly from about 12, I associate myself with the house of Gryffindor. And this is mainly because I value two of the traits of Gryffindor highly, more so than I do have any of the other houses. And the traits that I value from Gryffindor are the daring and the nerve. Now, the reason why I would associate myself with Gryffindor is because I'm a pretty stubborn person when I want to be, and I do tend to act in ways before I actually think, which is a very common trait for people who are sorted into Gryffindor. Now, of course, I know people who know me will probably say otherwise, but for me personally, I'm a Gryffindor and I associate myself with Gryffindor. Now, when it comes to today, when I look at the other traits of the houses, I've come to realize that I have a number of the traits within all the houses. Now, for me personally, I still value the Gryffindor traits, so my house loyalty will never change out of Gryffindor. But I can be quite ambitious, which is a very thing when it comes to Slytherin. I also value learning, which is a very Ravenclaw trait as well, and where I thrive to learn. But when it comes to Hufflepuff, I am very, very patient, and I do value a lot of hard work, and I do work hard. So it's kind of one of these things where you talk about the houses and whether or not it is a thing that, do we have all these traits, and is it when we're sorted at the tender age of 11, is it only those that are the strongest traits places in housing? I have looked further into the Hogwarts houses on my own terms, not necessarily in research. This is just stuff that I picked up over the last while, and because I recently reread Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, I thought, do you know what, maybe if I was to go back again and reevaluate everything, I probably would associate myself more with Hufflepuff than I would with any other house. And to be honest, I probably would actually be okay with being a Hufflepuff. I have no qualms at being a Hufflepuff. Now, the reason why I'm so pro Hufflepuff, even though I associate myself with Gryffindor, is because of these simple facts. When it came to Gryffindor, all Gryffindor wanted were those who showed bravery and nerve and chivalry. For Slytherin, all he wanted was the resourceful people, the cunning, the ambitious, but mainly he wanted the pure bloods. He didn't want any mixed blood in his house, or teach anyone mixed blood, or those who weren't of a wizarding background. Ravenclaw, all she wanted was people who were smart and willing to learn, but that's everyone, right? Hufflepuff. Oh, good old Hufflepuff, good reliable Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff said, do you know what, screw you, I'm taking anyone that I find that has potential, and I will teach him to the best of my knowledge. And I think when you see that, that makes you kind of want to be part of the Hufflepuff house, because Hufflepuff was the badass amongst the four of them, the one that went against all ties, didn't discriminate against anyone, whether they were muggle-born, pure-blood, half-blood, whatever. As long as she saw potential in you, she went and taught you if the others didn't want you. And that, to me, is pretty badass and awesome. Plus, the Hufflepuff house is right beside the kitchen. So, I mean, midnight feast, anyone? So, yeah, when I come down to it, I would be pretty proud to be a Hufflepuff. But, again, as I said, I'm a Gryffindor, Pottermore approved Gryffindor. So, I am Gryffindor true and true. I absolutely love the Gryffindor house, and it matches my family crest as well. So yeah, Gryffindor all the way for me. Although when it comes to sorting and placing ourselves in houses, as I've already just spoke about, where it came to being a Gryffindor but valuing traits of Hufflepuff, that's just come through age and reevaluating myself as an individual as I've gotten older. We have a moment in the books where Dumbledore turns to Snape and says to him, "I think we sort too soon." And to me, that does make a lot of sense, because using Snape as the best example as I possibly can in this situation is speak about how not only was he very cunning and ambitious, and he was placed into Slytherin for these traits, or I believe he was placed in Slytherin for these traits, is mainly because he showed this at 11 years of age, and he showed it throughout his life. It never really truly changed. But at the same time, he was also very, very brave and intelligent. So he could have easily been sorted into Gryffindor or into Ravenclaw. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because when it came down to it, and it came to Lily and James, mainly because he was in love with Lily, was that he put himself in a life and death situation where he used his cunningness to get onto Voldemort's good side, to become one of his most trusted people in his party. But he also was very brave and very intelligent in order to do this. And he used his intelligence and his cunningness and his bravery to be a double agent. Now, when I talk about Snape being intelligent, is that he would have been a potions master in Hogwarts before he even turned 22, which is pretty amazing. So it does mean that he did show a lot of intelligence. And maybe that was because Dumbledore placed him in a situation where not only could he protect him, but also that when the time came down to it, that he would be able to act upon his main cause and reason to take down the downfall of Voldemort. Now, that's only me using Snape as an example. Now, we also have Peter Pettigrew, who was sorted into Gryffindor, who could have easily been sorted into Slytherin, because all he ever wanted to do was to be involved with people of power. So while he was in Hogwarts, he followed James, Lupin, Sirius, and they were the four amigos, but he followed them around. They were popular and they showed to have power. As soon as they left Hogwarts, Peter Pettigrew went and sought the power of Voldemort, and he also betrayed his lifelong friends to Voldemort to gain power. So that's a very much a Slytherin thing to do. So his traits could have easily been one above the other at 11, but as he grew older, all he wanted was power, which was a very much a Slytherin trait. And this is stated in the books and in the films as well. So I went to Facebook and went to a couple of groups that I'm part of, and I wanted to get other people's opinions, whether or not they associate themselves with a house, and do they still associate themselves to that house, and why. So I have a couple of responses from a couple of friends, and I will put their links, if they link me, or like I've asked them to do, in the description below if you want to go check out their blogs or their YouTube channels. So one of my friends on a booktube community on Facebook responded with saying that she done the Pottermore quiz. So this is Elizabeth Ann, and she done the Pottermore quiz 3 times, and twice on the new version and once on the old, and she's always been assigned Ravenclaw. So she's purely a Ravenclaw, and this is where she goes to say that I really see myself as a Ravenclaw. Learning is my thing and always been my thing. I think at 11 years old I would have been a Ravenclaw as well, and maybe a little bit of Hufflepuff because I was weird. Now this is a great thing about Elizabeth Ann, because I absolutely love her, and she turned around, and when she said like she was a little bit weird at 11, I was weird at 11, but she sees herself as a Ravenclaw, and she still sees herself as a Ravenclaw with a little bit of Hufflepuff tendencies, and I totally agree with that. I see myself as a Gryffindor and with Hufflepuff tendencies as well, especially when it comes to the hard work and having patience. So yeah, I can totally get behind that. So Elizabeth Ann, I guess you're a Ravenpuff. I also got another response from someone on this group as well called Courtney Williams, and she has said that I've taken any and every quiz I could find. I've always been a Ravenclaw. At 11 years old, I was definitely a Ravenclaw because I always strive to learn something every day. So that's pretty cool. And since I'm a Ravenclaw, I also have Slytherin traits because I go for what I want. And that makes perfectly good sense as well, because I think being ambitious and being cunning is all part and parcel of being an individual. But your main trait would be knowledge, the drive to learn. So my main trait when it comes to Gryffindor would probably be the nerve part of things, not standing up to what I believe in, not backing down. So I suppose that's where I would see myself to be a Gryffindor, is because I don't back down very easily when I set my mind to something. I'm very, very much a determined person, and don't dare try to knock me off my stool. I did ask other people for their response, but I could be here for ages looking up on Facebook. But in saying that, everyone, I personally think that when it comes to the Hogwarts houses and their traits, every person's trait changes as they grow older. Some people will fall more heavily into one trait over another. Some people will associate themselves with one house, and as they get older may see traits in another house developing in them more so than anything else. But as I can say is, we have all these traits in us, and there's a quote in the films, I know it's in the films, I can't remember if it's in the books or not, where Sirius says to Harry, says there's light and dark in all of us, it's what we decide to act upon decides who we are. And I think that's probably the best quote to have when it comes to the associating with housing of Hogwarts. Anyway, everyone, if you like this video, please give me a good old like. If you have not subscribed, you can click over here to subscribe, and if you want to see my previous videos, you can click them right here, and I will put all links in the description down below if you want to go check them out. As always, everyone, I shall see you on Saturday. Peace.